Hello YouTube, my name is Octopus Joey, and last year I made a video about a game that people actively avoid talking about for some reason, and since then it has become my second most viewed video, and by far my most responded to video. But there were a lot of features that I didn't mention, and a lot of games that I just didn't talk about. So with that said, I'm going to look at some features that I didn't look at last time, and I'm going to play some games that I didn't play last time, and I'm going to play some games that you guys suggested that I play. Alright, so Roblox has changed a little bit since last year. The most notable change is that they removed tickets. I didn't talk about tickets at all in my last Roblox video for some reason, but basically, they were a secondary currency to Robux and they were given as a sign-in bonus to every player every day. They were also given to players every time their games were played. In fact, I didn't even buy anything with Robux in my last video. I spent one ticket on whatever this is supposed to be, and that was it. For the sake of showing what you can do with Robux, I went ahead and bought $10 worth of Robux. I could have sworn it used to be 1,000 Robux, but now it's only 800. I know that Roblox has a lot of service to pay for, but still, the cuts they've made have been kinda disappointing. Alright, now that I'm able to customize my character the right way, he now looks like this! What, did you think I was gonna spend that entire 10 bucks on my character? Come on, I also need to buy some gear items. When you buy gear items, you can use them in any Roblox game that allows you to use them. I paid $1 in real money for this. Anyway, I'll show you a little more of what you can do with Robux later, but for now, it's time to play some games. In my last video, I said that tycoons were one of many overused genres of what are, for the most part, the exact same thing. And tycoons are one of the worst of these categories because in almost all of them, all you do is step on buttons to buy things and wait to get more money. Some of them give you things to do while you wait, but in most of them, it's just a bunch of waiting while you slowly progress. But there are very few tycoons that go against the normal generic and sucky Roblox tycoon, and the best example I could find of that is Retail Tycoon by Hangy125. Unlike most Roblox tycoons where you buy things that only appear in a specific position, Retail Tycoon lets you place things wherever you want. You start with $5,000 in a small building, and you can use the money to buy furniture to put stuff on, and stuff that NPCs can buy for more money. Meanwhile, they give you positive and negative comments that affect your store's rating, such as, "I'm loving this open space," and "some decoration wouldn't hurt." You want decoration? Fine, here's a plant. There's a lot to keep up with. You need to keep an open register for customers to come into your store in the first place, so you need to be a cashier. Customers can spill things, so you need to be a janitor. Robbers can come in and steal your stuff, so you have to be a security guard. Speaking of robbers, I like how you can arrest them for no other reason than they look suspicious. And why do they look suspicious? Because they're frowning and wearing a gray beanie, of course. And after all that, you still need to worry about restocking constantly. The more customers you get, the more hectic it gets, and eventually you will need to hire some employees for additional help. Eventually I decided to upgrade my store by buying more property, breaking down a wall, and expanding the building. And the lack of negative reception got me thinking, do you need walls at all? So I decided to make my store nature themed. Welcome to Nature Mart, where you can go shopping and go outside at the same time. There's no walls, there's a plant, it's Nature Mart. But unfortunately, these guys aren't programmed to like my idea, so my rating went down. Kinda dull in here. How can it be dull? There's a plant. I guess they couldn't afford the whole building? Most buildings have walls. Do these people not understand the concept of Nature Mart? For the sake of not playing too long, and because I was mad and out of money after Nature Mart failed, I didn't play for very long. But trust me when I say, it gets really hectic once you get enough upgrades. This game does a really good job at constantly keeping you busy and doesn't rely on making you wait for more money like other Roblox tycoons do. This is most likely the best tycoon on Roblox. The Pop-Tart by Fwep67 Industries. Wow, I feel stupid saying that. Feels kinda like a tech demo for some sort of first-person adventure game. Your first objective is simple. Put a Pop-Tart in the toaster and wait for 1 minute. Meanwhile, you can explore the house and, more importantly, screw around with the physics of your household items. My favorite thing to mess around with is the lamp. I mean, just look at it. If you jump on it the right way, it goes flying all over the place. Oh no, the toaster set my house on fire, which leads to the second objective, call the fire department and get out of there. But the door is blocked, how do I get out of here? Oh look, I got the bad ending, and now I have to listen to an ear-grating siren. Oh well, I'll just try again. Lamp physics! Yes, it clipped through the floor! Okay, so to get the good ending, you have to click on the window in the attic. Wait, this is the good ending? It's kinda sad. I mean, I'm not dead, but it's still sad seeing your house burn down like that. Also, if you get the bad ending, you get the ear-grating siren. If you get the good ending, you get the ear-grating siren. But there is another ending. If you click the toaster after you call the fire department, you go to heaven and spend eternity with your Pop-Tart. This ending is strange, but at least it doesn't have a siren. Overall, this doesn't feel as much like a game as it does a demo. If it is a demo for something, it's kinda interesting, but otherwise, I'm not too impressed. I'm probably gonna be talking a lot about platforming games in this video, and to start, I'm gonna be talking about another generic obby.
Welcome to my obstacle course.
Seriously, what is this promo video? The realistic mouths are stupidly creepy, the pitch shift doesn't help with that, and the entire thing just comes off as completely unsettling while trying to be wacky and bizarre. So anyway, aside from the awful promotional video, Escape a Giant Burger Obby by Platinum Falls is a pretty generic obstacle course. You basically do nothing but jump on stuff. There's one level where you have to dodge these hamburger boulder things, and it's stupidly broken because they spawn randomly, leading to unfair deaths. But other than that, it's as repetitive as your normal Roblox obstacle course. The only really impressive thing about it is the scenery. It's all food themed. The burger doors kinda creep me out, but they still add to the scenery. With all that said, there's not really anything that stands out about this game. This entire game can be summed up in one sentence, as said by the creator himself.
I like the part where you jump over things.
It's definitely not the worst Roblox obby though. It doesn't really have any cheap traps other than that stupid rolling burgers thing. Not great, but not terrible. Dinosaur Simulator is exactly what it sounds like. You're a dinosaur, do stuff. Except there isn't that much stuff to do. You eat other dinosaurs, eat plants, drink water, walk around, struggle to climb mountains because you're not good at climbing, and this game isn't fun. The atmosphere is alright, but the Ice Age billboards kind of ruined the immersion of prehistoric times. I know it's a promotional thing, but still, how out of place can you get? While you're at it, why not just put birds in Portal, or Master Chief in Super Mario Galaxy? Or slow-paced precision and traps that punish you for going fast in a game that promotes itself to be fast and has fast-paced controls. Oh wait. A friend of mine told me that the fun part of this game is fighting other players' dinosaurs. Well, the maximum server size is 15, and this game has a big world. You really have to look to find other player dinosaurs, and even then, they're usually in a pack, or much stronger than you, or both. And fighting them isn't even that exciting. You bite at each other until someone falls over. Amazing! So yeah, while this game's world is pretty impressive, it's not fun, and unfortunately, it's not worth playing. In my first Roblox video, I talked about Ripple Minigames and Person299's Minigames. Well, I found another minigame place called Epic Minigames. Right off the bat, the name tells me that this is gonna be very generic and filled with memes. I started out by buying the Double Points Game Pass for 100 Robux, more than $1 well spent. It's a little useful because you can spend points on in-game items, but it's definitely not worth 100 Robux. Well, I was wrong. It's not filled with memes, and it's especially not generic. And that's because there's one key feature that sets this place apart from Ripple Minigames, and that's that the minigames are fun. Seriously, every minigame I played felt inventive in some way, and more importantly, they were all well designed and well presented. Not that the games in Ripple Minigames aren't fun, but they're kinda generic and simplistic. The soundtrack is pretty good too. None of the songs are original, and I don't like all the songs that are played in the game, but they're still very fitting for the situations in which they're played. The overworld lobby is really good compared to Ripple, and especially compared to Person299's minigames. In Ripple minigames, the theme is generic overworld with a lot of unnecessary stuff, and in Person299 minigames, the theme of the overworld is a box. Epic Minigames has an overworld with different themes in different parts. There's a building with kind of a lobby-ish theme, an underground area with a cave theme, and an outdoor area that's a campground with a big pond in the middle. Or is it a small lake? I don't know. And if you thought the lamp physics from the Pop-Tart were amazing, just look at these beach balls. They fly away from you when you touch them, so you can hit them all over the place, but I like to jump on top of them so they launch me upward. Anyway, this is definitely the best minigame place I've ever played, and definitely an awesome Roblox game. Alright, those are some interesting games, but now I'm gonna look at some games that you guys suggested in the comment section of my first video. I said in the last video that there aren't a lot of good platforming games on Roblox, so a lot of these suggestions are gonna be platformers. Powerboy J Roblox suggested that I look up someone named Polyhex. Well, I didn't find a lot of platforming games by him, but I did find one called Roblox Adventure: The Rise of Nabisi. This game is really interesting. It's not a linear obstacle course like most platformer games on Roblox, but instead it's a 3D collectathon platformer modeled after Super Mario 64 on Sunshine. Your main objective is to collect Roblox tokens. In every level there are 4 main objective tokens, 3 blue coins, which if all 3 are collected you get another token, and a character mission. Character missions are done by finding an item in a level and bringing it to a character. Being the stupid completionist that I am, I looked for like 20 minutes for the 3rd blue coin in the first level, but couldn't find it. I have no idea where it is. This game has several levels and even lets you save and load your progress. One of my only problems with it is that sometimes the hints are really confusing. My only other problems with the game are that the combat is a little awkward and the NPCs can kill you as soon as you respawn. But other than that, it's really cool to see a 3D platformer like this on Roblox, and it's pretty well executed. Speaking of polyhex, he has another game that was requested to me by Dylan, Super Bomb Survival. Now, I don't know which was made first, this or Ripple Minigames, but they have very similar overworlds. They both have moving sidewalks around a giant cubic arena with some shops that use GUIs. And they both have some useless stuff that's only really there to make the overworld less boring. But this overworld still has a bit of a different theme. This one is styled more like a Chuck E. Cheese or something, with these arcade machines and these climbable things and this really cool carpet. Well, unlike Ripple Minigames, this place only has one game, and that's Super Bomb Survival. I think this game breaks easily because the first 2 servers I joined were completely broken. But once I was in a server that worked, I was not disappointed. It's a really fun game. Your main goal is to survive the explosions of all the different bombs that fall from the sky, and also collect coins while you're at it. There are several different kinds of bombs to keep it interesting, and also several different maps. And you can use these coins to buy skills to make the game easier. The skills help give the game a little more variety, and so do the maps. It's a really fun game. This guy suggested that I play Speedrun. I actually considered Speedrun for the first video, but I didn't bother because Super Checkpoint was better, and really, it was all I needed to contrast against all the bad obbies. Well, I wasn't able to find the original Speedrun, so I'm gonna be playing Speedrun 4. It's a pretty good platforming obstacle course. You're given a very fast walk speed so that you can run faster and jump further, and it works really well for the most part. But occasionally, this game requires you to stop and readjust before jumping to the next platform. That wouldn't be a problem in a normal platformer, but this is a very fast-paced platformer with fast-paced controls, and stopping suddenly really breaks the pace. These moments aren't very common though. The only big problem with this game is that Roblox's physics engine kinda works against it. Hitting an upward slope at a high velocity like this causes you to bounce a little bit, and sometimes even running up makes you bounce for some reason. And if it bounces you at the wrong time, it can cancel your jump, causing you to fall and die. Even though it's not perfect, it's still an example of a good Roblox obby, which on its own is impressive. It's not as good as Super Checkpoint, but it's still good. I was also suggested Prison Life. You can start out on one of 2 teams, police officers or prisoners. If you're a prisoner, your goal is to escape and head to the town where you can join the citizens team, and if you're a cop, your goal is to make sure that the prisoners don't escape. My only complaint with this game is that it's very vulnerable to hacking. Seriously, the first 2 servers I joined were completely unplayable because of hackers. Apparently this person is gonna record it and put it on YouTube. Well good, I am too. The 3rd one I got into seemed normal for the most part, but I think someone still hacked it at one point because there's a wall missing on this building. Oh well. Hacking has always been a problem with Roblox, and I have no idea why they haven't made more of an attempt to fix it. Whatever the case, the game itself is still pretty good. Generally, the worst platforming games on Roblox are the ones with obby in the title. If you look at the good platforming games I've reviewed so far, none of them mention anything about an obby. But there is one game that has obby in the title that's actually good. And that leads me to another request by Dylan, the Spongebob Movie Adventure obby. This is a good platformer based on a good platformer, the Spongebob movie game for the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox. I have no idea why they chose this platformer over literally any others to base it off of, or just create their own original story. I mean, the Spongebob movie game is a pretty obscure platformer. Heck, it's not even the most famous SpongeBob game. That would be Battle for Bikini Bottom. But the creator does a decent job of retelling the story of the movie, recreating certain assets from the game such as buttons and jellyfish, and revisioning each level from the game. Goofy Goober tokens serve a different purpose here. Instead of being required to progress like in the real game, in this game, if you collect all 21 tokens, you unlock Squidward mode. And why would you want to play as Squidward? This is why. Really though, this is a good remake with some good new levels. And another request from Dylan, Roblox Dodgeball. First of all, what is this character supposed to be? If it's supposed to be the female character, that's one ugly female. I'm gonna play as it. So here's the disappointing part. It's not Dodgeball. It's a game that's similar to Dodgeball with its own made-up rules. You see, in real Dodgeball, if you get hit once, you're out, and if you catch the ball, the person who threw it is out. In Roblox Dodgeball, you have to be hit 4 times to be considered out, and there's no catching and no blocking. Blocking and catching wouldn't have been that hard to implement, and without them, your only means of defense is just moving out of the way in time, which can't always be done. Other than that, my only problem with the game is that the dodgeballs blend into the red side a little bit, giving the blue team a slight advantage. I know that people like this game, but the fact that it calls itself something it's not is enough for me to call it bad. The Mills Buddy suggested that I play Adventure Forward Star Savior. Keep in mind, this is a very large-scale game, so this is based entirely on my first impressions. And I gotta say, I'm very impressed. It's another Super Mario 64 styled 3D collectathon platformer, but this one is more well-polished than Roblox Adventure. The maps are more detailed and much bigger, and in general, it's just more fun. Even though I didn't really have that much time to play it, I may very well go back and revisit it sometime, because this is a really cool game. It might not be quite as good as Super Mario 64, but it definitely comes a lot closer than Roblox Adventure, which felt kind of generic. Fandom Forces was suggested by lots of people. In fact, this is by far my most requested game. I guess a lot of people want me to review it. But I will warn you right now, I am not a big fan of first-person shooters, so be prepared to scream at your monitors as you witness my awful gameplay footage. I'm very impressed by pretty much everything in this game. The custom animations look great, the maps are good, the presentation is honestly the best I've ever seen in any Roblox game, and most importantly, it plays well. Now I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of confused at first because, again, I don't play shooters very often, but I got used to it pretty quickly. Gameplay-wise, it's your standard first-person shooter. There are 4 different classes: Assault, Scout, Support, and Recon, and there are different game modes such as King of the Hill and Team Deathmatch. My only complaint is that, as a shooter, it doesn't really stand out that much. Honestly, that might not even be true at all because I'm not a shooter enthusiast, so a lot of shooters kind of blur together in my head. But as a Roblox game, or even as a free-to-play shooter, it's definitely worth your time. Guys, you might think I'm crazy for saying this, but I think I misjudged the community. I did not get nearly as much backlash as I thought I would for saying that Roblox had a terrible community in the first video. In fact, a lot of Roblox fans agreed with me. Not that it's a good community as a whole, but there's definitely a good part of it and a bad part of it, and that can be said about pretty much any community. And even though I do think that a big part of the Roblox community's problem is that Roblox is marketed towards children, there is another big factor as to why Roblox's community is the way it is, and that's because it's free to play. Think about it. Anyone can make a Roblox account and be as obnoxious as they want with no consequences. In fact, you don't even have to make an account. You can just play as a guest and be as disruptive as you want, and that might be part of the reason why guests are universally hated among Roblox players. Honestly, unlike last time I made a Roblox video, I had very few problems with other players this time around. Like, there were 2 people hacking in prison life, and that was it. It kinda makes me wonder if the Roblox community is improving as longtime players grow up. My name is Octopus Joey. Bye. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and click either of the videos on screen for more. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/octojoey and follow me on social media at twitter.com/octojoey and facebook.com/octopusjoey.